Hey out there, this is Wake Angel 2001, and you may think, hey, what's up with that shirt? It doesn't have a fancy character or anything on the front. Well, this is kind of my beach shirt. I wear it usually when I go outside in the warm weather. I just kind of threw it on today without thinking. The design's on the back. See? Yeah, so with that done, this week's episode is Robots from the Sky, which introduced Bolts and Maiton, who were they were foreshadowed in that little preview gallery from the Sonic Boom Fire and Ice video game. So finally, we get another episode that was previewed. Also, this is like the first real epic two-parter of the series. Alright, the episode begins simply enough with a charity car wash. They're trying to raise money for a new daycare because the current daycare is just a giant bird cage that they stick kids in. When Eggman comes in, claiming that they stole the change out of his dashboard, or wherever you keep coins in your car. So Sonic of course says they didn't do it, but he doesn't believe them. So there's a robot attack, and while he's doing his speechifying, a spaceship spirals out of the air and crashes, which Sonic tries to address, but Eggman says not to change the subject, and they continue their fight. Out of the wrecked ship, two robots come out. One of them is all huge, built like a superhero, and the other one is a small round thing with like what looks like a frog head, and these are Maiton and Bolts. So they hear the commotion, and when they look, they see Sonic and his friends smashing a bunch of robots. Now, as you know, they're robots, and they see someone smashing robots, so they assume that Sonic is a bad guy. So they come in, and with a combination of rocket-powered fists and telescoping binding arms, they manage to defeat Sonic. And they retreat with Dr. Eggman, who says that who declares the win and then says that they should get out of there before Sonic breaks out and pulls a reversal on them. So Eggman can claim the win. So they go back to the. Tails notes that those two robots are way too powerful to have been built by Eggman, and they take the arm left behind so that they can examine it. Meanwhile, back in Robotnik's lair, Bolts and Maiton introduce themselves. They say that they're from a utopian city in the sky populated entirely by sentient robots. They don't post about politics on their social media, and healthcare is free. I really would like to live in a world like that. Like, for both of the things, like free healthcare and the no politics on social media. I'm pretty sure someone's going to talk about politics in the comments of this video. That's how bad politics are these days. Yeah, so I digressed. It turns out that they call their magical city in the sky Morrisville. And Cubot and Norbot wonder why they didn't call it something really cool, like Robotopia. Or Sky Sanctuary. Sky Sanctuary Zone. I like how they can actually they can make a reference to the classic game franchise and make it relevant and not feel super forced in. Because they don't really dwell on the Sky Sanctuary thing. They just say Sky Sanctuary. And these guys, I really wish we had these guys when we were doing the brainstorming. Eggman's talking with them, and he kind of he asks Cubot and Norbot to get the drinks, and when they bring back ordinary apple juice instead of fancy cider, he chastises them, and he pours the drinks on their heads, and he yells at them, and that's when Maiton and Bolts realize that Eggman is actually a bad guy who enslaves robots rather than one who works with them. Does it really count as enslaving if you build them yourself? Oh man, that's a political discussion. I think they dedicated an entire episode of Star Trek to this, A Measure of a Man. Remember, the one where Data was, they wanted to dismantle Data so they could try and reverse engineer his pathways and build more Datas? And Data wanted to refuse because he was concerned that even if they made a backup of his memory, the fact that the positronic net wouldn't be a complete, they wouldn't be able to back up the actual feeling of his memories into the thing. So he might not survive as himself. And when he refused, they tried the scientist that was ahead of the project tried tried to go around it by saying that since Data is a machine and is the property of the Federation, he doesn't have rights as a person, and so he's property. And and so they had to make an argument that Data is in fact a sentient being who has rights, and if you start mass producing them for the sole purpose of being your servants, then aren't you not constructing a slave race? I mean, we are going to have to deal with this when we start to make sentient robots. In fact, Isaac Asimov himself, who pretty much created the concept of the artificially intelligent robot, pretty much established how this would work in his world populated by robots, in that they intentionally make the robots just dumb enough that they don't desire freedom. I mean, this is read iRobot. That is the thing. That's how they solve the problem of robots being essentially slaves. And for a more humorous reference, this is basically the plot of Ted 2 as well. You know, Ted, the sentient teddy bear. Can he really get a marriage license and adopt children because you know, he is a teddy bear and not a living human being technically? But this is all hypothetical politics, so let's get away from politics again and back to the plot synopsis. Alright, so when Eggman realizes that he's not going to make friends with these two, he activates a magnet which sticks him to the ceiling and starts demanding information on how to find Moore's village. You know, because there's a race of highly advanced super robots up there that, with a little bit of reprogramming, could become quite the powerful army. Okay, so this is when Tails is fangasming over how awesome the robot arm they found is and how much more advanced this technology is. When Cubot and Norbot come up and say that, you know, and they say that they're the tattle on Eggman. And oh yeah, there was also a scene where they went to the crashed spaceship and Tails was marveling at the technology, but you know, that's largely a filler scene. It moves the plot along, but it's not really that important. What's really important is when Cubot and Norbot come in and they rat on Eggman because, you know, they don't want to see Bolt and Myton get hurt. They like them. So they all break in. They break into Eggman's lab while he's about to torture the Bolt and Myton, and Cubot and Norbot act surprised. Oh no, they broke in. How did they find out? Oh, we told them. Alright, so what follows is another fight, an actually pretty cool one involving Flamebot, and who's really more of an indoor bot, but whatever. Oh, by the way, Eggman. It turns out that Eggman took most of the coins out of his little coin drawer in his car to do the laundry. So it turns out he didn't need that Sonic never even stole the coins in the first place. But whatever. So it's actually a really cool action sequence, but I'm not going to give a play-by-play because, you know, describing an action sequence is actually kind of boring. But it ends with Bolt and Myton activating the magnet and getting Eggman stuck on the ceiling by his wrist communicator, and then sending him a bolt of electricity for good measure. So they get Bolt and Myton back to the village. They repair the ship. It turns out that the reason the ship crashed is because they had a bunch of malware in it, as much malware as an email forwarded by the old monkey guy. And Bolt and Myton part amicably. Now, oh, by the way, Styx has been going the whole time with the whole robot apocalypse is nigh. All life is going to end as we know it. We even have at the end when they're all saying their goodbyes, she was going to sneak up with a giant brick to smash Myton on the back of the head when Sonic's like. So when Bolt and Mytons fly up into space, well, is there a ship? Did it really come from space? It's a floating city, but it's not really in space. I mean, it's no more in space than Angel Island is in space. I digress once again. And just when everything seems to have a happy ending, some red glowing eyes come out of the bushes, and Styx notices it, and they all go to fight, but lasers start getting fired, and Tails is shot. And that's where the episode ends. And Knuckles breaks the fourth wall by saying, "Aw, cliffhanger, I hate those." And like, wow, Sonic Boom, the cheeky comedy, has a two-parter where the finale of the episode features one of the characters getting shot by a freaking laser to close out the credits. Like that's what? This is your first two-parter? Really? And I just finished marathoning all the Steven Universe episodes that were placed on demand in the cable service, and that ended on a cliffhanger. But at least I'm used to that show ending on awesome cliffhangers. This is gonna have me wondering all week. Wait, was it a freeze ray? Was it just a stun blast? Is Tails actually going to be in traction? Are they not going to have their inventor and tech expert for the beginning part of the next episode? Who the heck shot him? Eggman was down for the day. He's not going to attack them again. Could it be an enemy faction? Like whoever sent the malware to the ship of Bolt and Myton? It's actually like an enemy robot faction that's actually trying to enslave that city. Is this part of the Ancients? Are we going back to is this another reference to Ancients? Like remember Ancients that they do a whole bunch of stuff? I don't freaking know. Yeah. So as you can guess, that this episode's cliffhanger ending is pretty freaking important. Wow, that's pretty intense. I don't know how it's gonna go. Okay, so yeah, this was a good episode. I really like the whole dynamic they have. Like, I like that there's a utopian city populated by robots that are not villains. Because in the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, you always have robots are bad guys, because pretty much the only guy who builds robots is Dr. Eggman himself. So, and whenever you get robots that aren't bad guys, it's because they've broken free from some kind of programming or they're rebelling, like E102 Gamma from Sonic Adventure, or E123 Omega from Sonic Heroes. You know, they were built for nefarious purposes, but broke free from that and became good guys. So this is like the first time that we actually have robots in the Sonic universe that are good. They're like heroic characters from the very beginning, and I really like that. And we as a society do not have enough good guy robots in fiction. You know, we have too many Terminators and not enough Astro Boys. That's what I'm saying. So every time I see a robot or a universe where robots aren't naturally assumed to be the harbingers of the apocalypse, I actually do like it. I mean, because, you know what, there actually is real-world fear of artificial intelligence. I think even Stephen Hawking has made mention that artificial intelligences could be a threat to our society. And I really don't want to believe that. I really think that if anything, we would be more of a threat to the artificial intelligences, because, you know, they would be in danger of essentially being enslaved by us. And what we really have to fear is coming to terms with, once we create sentient life that's separate from ourselves, will we really feel okay ordering it around, or programming it to be okay with being ordered around all the time? I'm pretty sure that that there will be activists who don't like this. I mean, to bring up politics again, there are women who say that there was. I remember seeing a video about it was a response to a feminist article about sex bots, like how sex bots are sexist, and really. Okay, I got a little bit too far off the rails here. I really shouldn't be talking about this when I'm talking about a Saturday afternoon cartoon. Alright, so this is Wake Angel 2001 signing off. And stay tuned for the raffle video for Dr. Finitivus, because I gotta make that too.